Happy to see you this Thursday. I'm Carl Azus. This is CNN10. We have stories on health and technology ahead today, but before that, we're bringing you more details on Tuesday's U.S. midterm elections. Not all of the outcomes are known yet. Some of the races for House seats, Senate seats, and state governorships are still too close to call. But looking at where things stand for the next U.S. Congress, the big picture results for Democrats and Republicans are a mixed bag, and they're pretty much in line with what analysts predicted. Democrats did take control of the U.S. House of Representatives, as many political experts forecasted they would. 218 seats are needed to have control of that chamber, and as of last night, Democrats had secured 223 seats, Republicans had secured 199 seats, and the outcomes of 13 races weren't known yet. Republicans did maintain control of the Senate, as many political experts forecasted they would. They needed to secure at least 50 seats to keep control of the 100-member chamber. Republican Vice President Mike Pence could be the tie-breaking vote if necessary. And as of last night, Republicans had secured 51 seats, Democrats had secured 46 seats. The outcomes of 3 races weren't known yet. So Congress is split. Neither Democrats nor Republicans had a sweeping victory on Tuesday. And while Republican President Donald Trump and House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi are on opposite sides of a strongly divided political aisle, they both signaled on Wednesday that there were opportunities for their two parties to work together.
I really believe that we have a chance to get along very well with the Democrats. And if that's the case, we can do a tremendous amount of legislation and get it approved. I really believe there's going to be much less gridlock.
We will have accountability, and we will strive for bipartisanship with fairness on all sides. We will have a responsibility to find our common ground where we can, stand our ground where we can't, but we must try.
The next Congress, which Americans voted for this week, is the 116th United States Congress, and it will be seated on January 3rd, 2019. Democrats and Republicans had very different takes Wednesday following the sudden resignation of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The former U.S. Senator from Alabama was an early supporter of President Trump, and as Attorney General, Sessions worked to carry out the president's policies on issues like immigration and crime. But they did not see eye to eye on the ongoing investigation into whether the Trump campaign inappropriately coordinated with Russia in the 2016 election cycle. And yesterday, Sessions sent a letter to the White House saying, quote, "At your request, I am submitting my resignation." Afterward, President Trump announced that Matthew Whitaker, the former Attorney General's chief of staff, would replace Sessions. Because Whitaker has criticized the Russia investigation, congressional Democrats called for him to recuse himself, to pull back from involvement in the investigation as Sessions had done. Meanwhile, the top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee said the Justice Department was in good hands with Whitaker in charge. 10-second trivia. Which of these diseases was widely eliminated following the development of a vaccine for it in the 1950s? Spanish flu, leprosy, polio, or tuberculosis? It is the nervous system disease polio that has been eradicated in most parts of the world. But cases of an illness that's like polio appear to be on the rise in the U.S. It's called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. It affects the nervous system, specifically part of the spinal cord, and it can cause muscle weakness and sudden paralysis. Scientists don't know what causes it. They don't know why some patients have recovered while others have lasting effects. But they do know that AFM mostly affects children. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control says that 90% of American patients since 2014 have been under the age of 4. The CDC has confirmed 80 cases this year. It's investigating more than 200 other cases, and it says that they're spread out over 25 states, though the CDC won't say what states those are. It's also been criticized for not spreading the word fast enough about the symptoms and dangers of AFM. The search for answers and treatments is ongoing. In Florida, drone technology is being used to patrol a high school campus. In Australia, it's being used to explore underground mines and tunnels that may be too dangerous for people to enter. In China, a stealth combat drone is being developed for sale to other countries. The technology is moving ahead quickly, bringing both conveniences and challenges where it's being deployed.
Slowly but surely, drones are humming their way into our lives. And while some cities are trying to limit their use, one city is aiming to make them a part of everyday life.
It's hard to imagine a future without lots of drones in the skies, and that makes many nervous. But in Dubai, people are embracing drones with a mixture of infrastructure, a helping hand to startups, and education. Exponent is a drone tech company that set up shop in 2012 and has created some imaginative tech since, from burger delivery drones to solar panel cleaners with leaf blowers attached to them.
So this is the drone cleaner.
So, Dubai actually has a lot of dust in the air, etc.
We can see it everywhere.
And this basically covers the camera and causes a lot of problems with the imagery that can be collected.
So this drone comes up, sprays the little bubble that covers the camera, and then alongside it another drone comes
up and dries it off.
It could be easier to clean my light this way in the house.
It sounds zany, but these are very serious applications related to the cleaning of CCTV cameras.
What's the relationship like between Dubai's government and drone companies like yours?
The Dubai government itself is one of the most prolific adopters of the technology. They've created an environment where the drone industry can really take off.
What really makes Dubai stand out is how they're keeping an eye on drones in their skies.
The biggest threat that the rise of drones poses is arguably to airplanes. So we're heading to Dubai's Aviation Authority right now to see how they're dealing with that.
Dubai International is one of the world's busiest airports with more than 87 million passengers going through in 2017. It's predicted by 2020, the airport will account for a third of Dubai's economy. If there's a delay here, it can cost them $1 million per minute, and drones shut down the airport 3 times in 2016 alone.
From the reports going back to 2015 with the numerous disruptions in the Dubai airspace, we came up with the Skytrack system. The big difference between us and any other system that's available out there, the information that you see portrayed on the screen comes directly from the source, in other words, from the tracking device, of which we have one here.
This is an actual device that goes
Yes.
on a drone to track it and then give you this real-time information.
Correct.
With the drone industry booming in Dubai, even drone education is catching on. Places like the American University of Sharjah are starting their own courses to satisfy high demand for drone jobs.
Well, we started with political races, we're ending with races too, but a very different kind. What you're about to see is said to have started back in Colorado's mining days when burros were used to help carry supplies. Today, they're used for their speed.
Turn around. There we go, we went this side.
Burro racing is, wow.
Burro race is a fantastic spectacle. It's he's gonna wear me out for the race while getting ready.
In Colorado, a one-of-a-kind race has been climbing the Rocky Mountain trails for the past 70 years.
Pack burro racing started in 1949 between Leadville and Fairplay. They needed revenue because the mining was dying, so the towns got together and they decided to have a burro race.
This year, 89 teams started the race in Fairplay, a world record according to the Western Pack Burro Association. This is a physically challenging 29-mile ultramarathon through the Rockies, featuring elevations over 13,000 feet. But the course might be the easiest part of this competition.
Burro racing is brokering a deal between you and an animal that's known for not so much cooperation.
You could get the guy that won the Boston Marathon out here running with a donkey and he could get last place. It's about how well you cooperate as a team, maybe even more so than how fast you and your donkey are.
The negotiation you have to do with this guy, the terrain, the trails are brutal, but they're so sure-footed. These critters, they just have a good work ethic. So these burros can run a 4-minute mile if you can hang on.
It is their race. I love to run their race with them.
They're humble beasts. They'll change your life if you own one.
So it appears the donkey to victory is getting the beast of burden lifted, getting an intractable pack mule to hoof it without hemming and hee-hawing its main objections. It's one race no one wants to get a kick out of, and the competition is more equitable than equitable. I'm Carl Azus for CNN10.